Hey, what's up everyone? This is Danny Mullen back at Mullen's Raw Fitness. Video number 4 for Paul Chek's 6 Foundation Principles of Optimal Health. Last video we went in a little bit into sleeping. We went in, talked about the yin aspect, the anabolic aspect of sleeping. Today we're going to do another yin and anabolic recovering, energy building, key component of Foundation Principles of Health, and that is hydration, water. Okay, hydrate before you medicate. We always hear, hydration, or water is, makes up about 75% of your body. That is true. And hydrate before you medicate. I write that, and I'm not even just talking about just water. That should be all 6 foundation principles. I'm not going to tell you to stop listening to your doctor and get off your medications. Absolutely not. Make sure you're in sync with what your doctor's telling you. But talk with him about the 6 foundational principles and how it can help you and benefit you. But what I would say is take a proactive approach. Look to try to change the key components of health before you have to rely on medications. Okay, because hydration is as I wrote here, the most vital source of energy to the human body. I know in one of my previous ones that we talked about, breathing was very important because you can only go minutes. Water you can go days without. But what I mean by that is out of the 6 main nutrients for the body, water, minerals, vitamins, proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, water is the key component and the number 1, because none of the other ones can be utilized properly without the source of water. Okay, as we'll talk about in a moment here. So water is very, very key. Water is important. 10 billion biochemical reactions per second go on in the human body. So that's a lot of things going on in the body. So what I'm talking about is all your bodily functions. Okay, all your hormones, your digestive tract, everything is there's so much going on throughout your body every second of every day. And guess what? Every single one of those are water dependent. So if you want to reach optimal health, like we talk about and what these videos are for, no matter what your ultimate goal is, whether just to improve your energy, improve your revitalization process, as we talk about, and what RAW stands for, or you want to lose weight, whatever it is, it's not going to happen, and it's going to be very, very difficult for your body to do without proper water intake. Okay, so with all those biochemical reactions, with all those bodily functions, what happens when we're dehydrated, which most of you are, I can assure you of that, okay, is we go through fatigue. We're fatigued, we're constantly drained of energy, and that's exactly because of what I just talked about. All the key components of health, or of your body, your organs, everything is dependent on having water to function properly. If it does not, it's going to make it much harder for your body to function, which is going to put a lot more stress, going to take a lot more energy from your life force in order to be functioning properly. And if you cannot, you're going to start to get drained, start to be fatigued all the time. Okay, then we'll look at kidney function. The kidneys, water is a key component to detoxification. We live in a society where we're full of toxins, pesticides, herbicides, everything going on in the food that we eat, all the stuff we find in our water, the air, everything is contaminated, okay? And if without the excess amount of water, okay, our kidneys are under a lot of stress to try to detoxify the body. And that's putting a lot of load on them. And if they get overburdened, all of a sudden now our body's filling up with all these toxins, which will lead back to fatigue. And what happens is, we talked about in earlier videos, when our body has so much toxins going throughout our body, it has to find somewhere to put those toxins. So where are toxins stored in the body? They're stored in fat cells. Okay, so you start being overloaded with toxins. What happens? Your body's going to keep producing fat cells in order to store all those. Okay, the next aspect is absorption, utilization of key components, key chemical reactions in the body, of nutrients, hormones, other chemical reactions, and messengers. And without water, you cannot absorb and utilize the energy you're bringing in. Okay, your body won't efficiently be able to use at the cellular level, won't be able to utilize energy and break down energy for your bodily functions to work properly, and again, leading to all types of problems, especially fatigue and all that. And that's a big issue no matter what your goal is. Then we're looking at it could cause high blood pressure being dehydrated. Blood is made up mostly of water, and if you lack the right amount of water for your body, and your blood becomes thicker. Okay, so what does that mean? Your blood pressure has to increase in order to pump that blood throughout your body. Again, taking away more energy. So and kind of as you can see with a lot of these 6 foundation principles, they can be either or. You know, so like sleep. If you're getting quality sleep, it's a very yin experience for the body. It's very therapeutic. It helps the body function properly. If you're not getting enough sleep, it becomes very yang and can be very detrimental to the body. Same thing with water. If you're getting a lot of water, it's very, very good. If you're not getting a lot of water, it can be very, very bad and can cause many, many issues like a lot of the ones we're talking about. So, make sure water will help improve your energy, but the lack of water will take that energy away and have to be utilized to do some of the work for what the water is supposed to be doing. So again, guys, water's key. Constipation. A lot of us are constipated. You know that we should be going the same time every day, if not multiple times a day, and most of us do not. So when we're constipated, what happens is, when our body's dehydrated, first it'll go to the central nervous system and take water from there, but then it'll start to look through your colon. Okay, it'll start taking out a lot of the water through your colon, your small intestine, and what happens is then your body becomes constipated. It can't excrete all the feces and everything that it's supposed to do through the detoxification process and the elimination process of the body. So again, you have all that gunk just sitting inside your colon all day long, for weeks, for months, for years, and again, more toxins sit in there. And what do you think? Your body's just gonna fill up with more and more toxins everywhere. And one of the things, kind of going back to kidney function as well. A lot of times, our body gets so overburdened with these toxins because we're not getting proper amount of water to flush it all out. That's why if you ever do a cleanse, it's important to make sure you get plenty of water, because or else you'll get a sick. You'll almost feel like you have a flu symptoms, because you're getting all those toxins and doing nothing with them. You got to flush them out. It's very important. That should be daily. But again, going to constipation, kidney function. If your body can't detoxify how it should, that's where a lot of skin problems come into play, acne, whatever it is, because your skin is another source of detoxification. And if it can't do it how it is, its normal functions throughout the kidneys and all that, your body will start to secrete it out of through your skin, and you'll notice you'll break out this and that because your body's so toxic that it has to get it out somewhere. So those are key things to look at. Joint problems. A lot of us have joint problems, joint stiffness. Your joints are made up of cartilage, mostly of cartilage, and if cartilage is actually made up of 25% or so of water, so if you lack water, your cartilage becomes very, very weak and brittle, and you end up with a lot of joint problems, end up with a lot of joint stiffness, and that's never good. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, but he's got a great book on the proper looking at hydration and all that, and I believe it's called your body's many cries for water. It talks about how most hunger pangs are actually your body is saying that it's dehydrated. So a lot of times we think we're hungry when really we're just thirsty. So that's something to look at if you're feeling really hungry all the time. Maybe it's just because you're dehydrated. So I would make sure we look at that. So with all that said, what's our raw 5-step action plan? This is number 1. This is key. Only drink quality water. So that means no tap water whatsoever, unless you get like a small Brita water filter or something like that. That will help. It's not the best option, but it will help. But we have to get quality water. Artesian water is best. Looking at sources like Fiji, Avion, stuff of that nature are usually better sources. The only issue is when they're in the bottle, the plastic bottle, that can cause all types of hormone imbalance and stuff like that, which we won't talk about right now. But it's ideally if you can get them in bottled, packaged in bottles, that's excellent. That's the way to go. Or get a water filtration system on your house. If you get reverse osmosis, that can be very that can be good and bad. So if you're going to do that, I would definitely look at this last step. But quality is very important. There's so much in tap water, so much in a lot of these bottled waters that we get every day, that it's just putting more, we drink the water to detoxify the body and let our body function properly, but we're getting so many toxins in return from all this bad water and poor quality of water that it's causing almost more harm than it is drinking the water. So be very conscious of that. Drink half your body weight in fluid ounces. A 200-pound person, try to get about 100 ounces of water every day. And if you're active, you're out in the sun, you live in warmer climates, I would highly recommend maybe even a little bit more than that. Your body uses a lot of water for, again, all its daily functions just to operate properly. So let alone if you're sweating a lot. So very key to get half your body weight in ounces. I would recommend waking up with 1 to 2 glasses of warm water, lukewarm water, okay, every morning. This will help the digestive process. Your body's been in a fasting state overnight. Your body hasn't had water overnight. It'll probably be a little dehydrated. So I would try to get water as soon as you wake up. Now, a couple things off this. Okay, a couple side notes off number 3's action plan. I say warm water. A lot of people ask me, do you want warm water or cold water? I say it kind of depends. Some people say there's benefit of cold water. They say it improves your metabolism. Some people, everyone else says warm water improves digestion and energy levels. I like warm water over cold, specifically for the fact that we are constantly overstressed, as I've mentioned all the time. And when you drink cold water, your body actually doesn't utilize it until it warms it up. So it kind of sits in the stomach until it warms up. So it takes energy for your body to warm that water up. So people that are always expending energy, like we've been talking about, whether it be overthinking, worrying all the time, super intense workouts, stress from stressful food, stress from relationships, whatever, and then they add the added stress of trying to warm your water up before it can be utilized. That's why I prefer to recommend warmer water, especially around meal times, because if you have more warm water in there, your body can start going through the digestive process. However, with that, I wouldn't recommend drinking water within an hour or within a half hour before you eat and a half hour after. If you absolutely have to sip on water, definitely make sure it's warm, to kind of get it down. But the whole digestive system is meant to be able to do it without, drinking water while you're digesting. So it could be that if you need water to help digest your food, could be an issue that you're not chewing your food enough. But so I would half hour before you eat, half hour, 45 minutes after you eat, I wouldn't have any water, and then get all your water in between your meals. And other than in the morning, if you want to maybe do cold water, in between meals, that's probably the way to do it. Or if you're really healthy, maybe you can handle colder water more, and look at it there. Again, that's not necessarily the warm versus cold, my expertise. I'm just giving you my advice from what I've come across. So chew your water. Okay, it sounds kind of weird. Just like I said, you got to make sure. There's a saying. What is it? Drink your food and chew your water. I'll get into drink your food during the nutrition aspect, but chew your water. You should kind of swish your water around in your mouth a little bit. The water, the saliva in your mouth is the first aspect of digestion. So help utilizing and using the water in your body will become more effective with some of those enzymes that you're getting from your mouth. So I definitely kind of swish your water around a little bit instead of just gulp, 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 because your body would better be able to utilize that water. And lastly is add quality sea salt to your water, and even apple cider vinegar. Both will help, or the apple cider vinegar will help alkalize the body. Sometimes we're very acidic, and it'll also help with detoxification, help detoxifying the body, as we've been talking about here with water. And the quality sea salt, especially if you have it filtered, a lot of times when we filter, sometimes we get out a lot of the good minerals, vitamins, trace minerals, all that. So adding a good quality sea salt will be very, very important for rebringing some of those nutrients back into the water, the electrolytes back into the water. A lot of times, you know, when you stand up too fast and you get dizzy, or you get dizzy a lot or whatever, or you sweat a lot, you could have an electrolyte imbalance. So, you know, getting water with some of those minerals back in it through sea salt will be key and will help you out a lot with that. I recommend a Celtic sea salt, Himalayan sea salt, New Zealand sea salt, French sea salt. Just make sure it's a raw sea salt. It's a natural sea salt. It's not processed, not table salt. A lot of times it should have kind of a little tint of color to it, whether it be a pinkish color or like a grayish color. So I would look out for that, and just make sure it's a good quality, just like a good quality water. So that's it, guys. Our 5-step action plan here at Raw. 6 foundation principles. That was video number 4. Next, we are going to talk about movement. Okay, movement's key.